I knew it. Well, we all know at this point, whenever Askemwat drops a diss, he means what he says, and risks it all to say things that people will be too afraid to say, or won't even think of saying. That's why it always works out for him, and never fails to amaze us. February 5th, 2024, the day that Michael Elkins has transferred from his old school to the Henry J. Robinson Middle School, a school where Askemwat went to with a bunch of his friends. A lot of kids in that school had a bad time going there. It had mixed reviews, but one day Askemwat exposed it all, and it was horrifying to hear. Askemwat was sitting in music class when all of a sudden his classmates are talking about a student named Michael Elkins, and Askemwat was curious. And then all of a sudden he entered the room for a short period of time before the social worker came to pick him up. They had a good conversation, and they were talking about some things that Askemwat should have never said, as months later the beef went on. We'll get to that moment soon, don't worry. But yeah, they were talking, they were getting along, and then that's when they became friends. But was Michael really being a good friend though? Apparently only the first month of their friendship were good, although the second month will take a dark turn as Michael's whole personality will completely change. You see, on March 4th, 2024, something bad happened between Askemwat's friend and Michael Elkins. See, Askemwat had another friend named Larry Lambert, aka LJ, aka LJ21311. Askemwat and LJ knew each other before they even hit middle school. They always had each other's backs. Yes, they would argue here and there in the past, but that's the past. No matter what happens between Askemwat and his friends, Askemwat would always have their back, and that's exactly what happened. Because on this day, Michael and LJ would have serious issues with each other, with Michael Elkins pushing him in the hallways, threatening him in the lunch lines, and just doing all this bad stuff, saying to Askemwat that he's gonna punch LJ in the face or smack him. And LJ wouldn't take this. He would argue back. And over the months, as Michael's and Askemwat's friendship went on, they also had problems with each other. LJ was not the only one. For some reason, Michael Elkins would try to use his height as an advantage to try to scare Askemwat, which didn't really work out because Askemwat would just yell at him for trying to be tough. When Michael Elkins, he's doing it just to make him mad or take his anger out on him, which is not really what a good friend does.
Yeah. Yo, Carson. I remember like one time, it was around April, I think, right? He was around. Me and Michael were walking. This is when we were friends. You know, we were walking right to our buses. Michael was around his sister, and his whole personality changed out of nowhere. He just started acting like he was cool. Like he just wanted to like press everything, and like he was picking me up and stuff, like acting like he was tough. And his sister was like, "Yo, why are you so rude?" And then Michael was like, "Yeah, you want to make my sister act like, make me look like I'm bad?" I'm like, "Dude, you're doing this to yourself." And that's when I knew he's weird. He was weird. He's doing something wrong, and I don't like it. I don't like this. I'm gonna end the friendship if he keeps doing this. And I even told him the next day. And then he called his sister the B word like a second later. It's something.
Even though Michael Elkins would do this to people, when someone does it back to him, or when people try to press him about it for what he's doing wrong, he will go complain to the principal about it. And for some reason, the other kids instead of Michael will get in trouble. Michael will get away with it. And Askemwat started noticing this. But one day, there was one thing that started to change Michael's actions for the better. On April 20th, 2024, Askemwat introduced Michael to his music for the first time ever. And Michael didn't believe it was him until Askemwat started rapping himself in the lunch table. And Michael couldn't believe what he was hearing. He was so shocked and inspired by it that he made his own YouTube channel with his full name, Michael Elkins, the channel that we know of today, which 4 days later on the 24th, Michael will release his first song ever titled Take It Higher.
That is the fire that hip-hop desires, burning bright like a flame, taking you higher from beats to the rhymes.
Surprisingly enough, Michael was actually really good, and he continued to make music when he dropped an album on June 3rd, 2024. But we will get to that soon. But after this song dropped, Askemwat and Michael's relationship began to turn to the right paths again, and they were actually getting along for once, because Askemwat told him that he had a performance coming very soon at the end of May, and Michael was excited to see that, and so were a bunch of other kids. And during May, everything almost went perfectly. Askemwat will continue to drop music, their friendships were going good, but there was just one problem again. Michael and Larry. They would still continue to fight and argue and cuss each other out. This day got extremely bad for both Michael Elkins and LJ. Michael almost had 2 detentions just because of this argument that LJ and Michael had. This left Askemwat devastated. Tomorrow morning, things will change history forever. Page After Page, a song that Michael Elkins dropped in the early hours of June 4th, 2024. A diss that will spark a chain of events that will lead to one of the greatest rap battles of all time. Everyone thought it was a normal song at first, until we hit the last verse. That's what really shocked the world.
Come on, let's wake up now and flip the page. This ain't no comic. It's time to pack up this bullshit and show him the real violence. Hey, let's get it, bro. The money, power, respect. Fuck my laptop, I'ma leave this for the tech. Hey, Larry, now you're up next. So I will try to flex the core. But once I get this check, you gon' be bleeding more. This like your ugly ass, I can give you a tour. Your girl can even suck the dick too, but it ain't yours, not even your head is for. That shit is almost like 10, and I ain't talking about your eyes, just cause I said 4. You know what I meant? Bitch, your face is red, and so is your head. But that shit big as hell, I'll wave you off like a sticker. Shut up, you fucking Floria, bitch, you want some more whiskers and maybe some more liquor. I hope you fucking die while I aid you on this track. You cotton picker, I spit fire, ignite the stage, page after page.
The lines that took a direct hit at LJ. Rap fans around the world were going crazy about this diss, and when Askemwat heard it, he was confused, nervous, and angry. And when they got to class, Askemwat and a girl named Mars showed LJ the diss track. Askemwat stated that LJ said he never cared at first, but then when LJ heard the part where Michael was talking about a girl that LJ was once with at one point, LJ got furious. And the next day, Askemwat went to the main office and confronted the principal, which is named Mr. Rossetti, about the diss track that Michael has made. But for some sketchy reason, Mr. Rossetti was defending Michael for the diss and not giving him consequences for his actions. At this point, Askemwat knew something was going on with Michael and the teachers. He didn't like it one bit. Then Mr. Rossetti told him to leave his office where he's getting a detention, and he said there was nothing he could do about the diss track. And Askemwat was full of anger. After that day, Askemwat just decided to let go of all of this and let Larry handle the beef. But 3 days later, that wouldn't be the case. This was the day that Askemwat had dropped the song 3 in the Morning. This song doesn't really have nothing to do with the beef, but there is a line that does mention Michael and Larry.
I got talent for a reason, so if this is what you call a generation, I might carry. Forget the shame and disrespect like Michael dissing Larry. Why would you do that, bro? It's alright, Larry. It happens to the best of us. I dive into the question.
But on June 10th, 2024 is when Askemwat and Michael's beef really went down. After the whole world heard the diss that Michael made, the song was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. No matter where you went, you would always hear it playing. It was Michael's biggest song yet. But during lunch on this day, everyone around him started pressing Michael about dissing Larry. And Michael kept lying and denying it, saying he never did it. But they all know he did. The proof was everywhere. That's when everyone started getting mad at him. But he was just laughing like it was some big joke. A kid named Jeremy Curtis was also yelling at Michael because Michael would used to make him mad a lot. And that's when Michael stood up and got out of his seat and went to a new one. And then Askemwat pushed him out of nowhere, full of anger. 5 seconds later, a kid by the name of Cadence Davis yelled the word Michael K. The letter K also stands for off, or enemy. According to Askemwat, Michael looked very upset when this happened. And after this day, no one heard much of him. In fact, he didn't even show up for school. This could mean that he was planning something big. 5 days later, on the 14th, LJ will drop his response disc to Michael.
Michael. Fuck you, Michael. With your fucking tears.
In this diss, LJ exposed Michael for being a fake friend and talking bad behind Askemwat's back. Mars, aka Jesse, was already planning to make a diss on Michael, but that will backfire real soon, because 4 days later, Michael will once again drop.
Hold up, I gotta suck some dick. Hold up, I gotta make some hits. Hold up, I gotta drop a diss. Hold up, I gotta make some hits. Hold up, I gotta drop a diss. Hold up, I gotta mix some hits. Hold up, I gotta drop a diss. Hold up, I gotta end all these fuckers real quick.
In this new diss, Michael will call out some of Mars's friends and responds back to LJ. It was an early morning of Tuesday, June 18th, when Mars went on her phone next to Askemwat in their math class, and they looked onto Michael's channel, and there it was, the enemy's diss track. When she played it, she got very angry. And when they got to the end of the diss, Michael took a direct shot at Askemwat, completely ending their friendship.
Ask him what you say, you could ever be in this beat. At first it would just be Larry and that's how it should be. But now, you wanted to open your mouth, okay, let's see. Have you ever thought that Anthony Mason is working for me? Maybe I said a little too much, will your shortness to even think? I will kill you on this track if I had to. You're not gonna be a better rapper kid than me, and you're nobody but a fluke.
And when I tell you this right here, this was the moment that really woke Askemwat up. As soon as he heard it, his eyes were wide open. He didn't even ask to leave the room. He just went straight to the principal's office right away. And this time, Mars followed him. When Askemwat showed Mr. Rossetti the diss track that Michael made, once again, Mr. Rossetti just ignored it and didn't give Michael any consequences. Mr. Rossetti would just make up a bunch of random excuses and lies just to defend Michael for no reason. That's when Askemwat started calling Mr. Rossetti out for it. And Mr. Rossetti got mad and started arguing back. They kept going back and forth until Mr. Rossetti saw Marge's phone in her hand, and he took it and started looking through all the photos to see if there was a diss track. And instead of getting Michael in trouble for him starting the diss tracks, he found a diss track cover of Michael on her phone. And when he did, he got her in trouble and took her phone away from her. And then she ran out of the room and slammed the door, running all the way upstairs. After that, Askemwat started yelling at Mr. Rossetti. And when I mean yelling, I mean he was screaming to the top of his lungs, like just arguing with him and just calling him out for everything he's doing wrong. After that, the social worker took Askemwat for a walk around the school for a little break to calm down after that meltdown he had in Mr. Rossetti's office. That's when the vice principal, Miss Dowling, came up to Askemwat and was trying to get in his face, giving him attitude. And Askemwat just stared right at her, with his face having no emotion whatsoever. It was like he was staring right in her soul, and he didn't even blink at all. When this was happening, she started to get nervous. After 10 seconds, Askemwat finally said, "You better be ready for what's coming," and just walked away. And Miss Dowling never said anything back and just stayed there shook. She knew she was scared, but just never admitted it. Askemwat finally drops a full diss track on Michael Elkins, starting the war with him. At this point, the school year already ended, and Askemwat was just wanting revenge. The whole world was hoping, just waiting that Askemwat would drop, and he delivered.
I better go off on this tall cornball. Think you ball that you're all bark. Ain't nobody try to fight me. You're lying to yourself, B. What? Go ahead, say something. Try to lay your hands on me. I'll make you look like a clown on this beat. I wish I'd ever met you. I thought you died and you're the stone. It's alright, I can still make you my clone. How you go watch anime on your Chrome, but get not your phone. Wait, I forgot you don't got one.
Everyone around the world was so hyped for this diss. They knew Askemwat was gonna bring some heat. And when he mentioned Yellowstone, Yellowstone is a place on the other side of the United States where Michael went on for vacation and took a break from school for a while. and then came back. But the line that really took the cake on this diss was when Askemwat mentioned Michael's dog.
Just like your dog, I got my AK on full life. Shoot a bunch of canine in its size. Yeah, your little puppy's gonna die, then come back to life after getting buried. Where are you in that cemetery? Sorry if I dissed you back, but you deserved it, little lad.
This diss was a very harsh hit on Michael. But then 2 days later, Michael will drop his response. And this was not a good look on Askemwat at all.
That boy's crazy.
You're not funny thinking I'm fake when you're the only one that hates. So that means you're a fake friend too. But that doesn't mean your mind is smart enough to make this shit go through. Hope you get fucking hurt, you fucking bitch.
In this song, Michael exposed Askemwat for not seeing his fathers often and having a bad childhood. But when Michael mentioned Askemwat's long-lost dog, Michael knew he messed up there.
Third off, only was a fucking slut that you call a puppy. No dog should ever be kept in that cage unless it's that wild fuck with rabies. But you don't want your dog ever mentioned cause you miss him to fucking that. I don't give a shit, I bet my dog could beat the living shit out of yours. And you know I don't need a fucking rhyme every time for you to know it's a rap. Fuck that, which swears I'm on top of Askemwat's crap. Let me get the strap, shoot him out of this battle with a nice fuck you and end this rap. Cause you know after all we've been through I still got more proof. So keep my dad in the sit out your fucking mouth and tell some truth. Me and all the teachers are gonna 3D-fy yo asses and your friends too. He has no game, won't even shoot a shot at Jesse. He's a fucking crybaby. It's funny how you can be a ugly ass bitch and still get ladies. So I gave you this message, Mason. Shut the fuck up, I'm going crazy.
The cover of the diss is Michael mocking the song I'm Going Crazy by Askemwat, but the cover is black instead of green. After the last verse of the I'm Going Crazy diss track on Askemwat, everyone thought it was over for him. They lost all hope for Askemwat, but a day later, the whole world was in shock, because no one noticed it, but Michael poked the bear. Where should I even start with this one? Askemwat drops a 6-minute diss track. Not even just to Michael. The concept of making a diss track and writing a message to his parents and his sister and the own principal himself has to be one of the most insane, evil, disrespectful things I have ever heard. In this diss track, Askemwat exposed the teacher for writing down lyrics for Michael and for Mr. Rossetti working for Michael's father, and some other teachers working for Michael's father as well, which explains the reason why Michael would never get in trouble for his actions at all. Askemwat painted a bad image on the school to make them look evil and unresponsible. The third verse on the principal, Mr. Rossetti, still scares me till this day, and I'll never forget about it. Askemwat also exposed him for his first name also being Michael. And I'm Going Crazy. Michael stated that him and all the teachers are gonna 3v5 Askemwat and all his friends. But Askemwat flipped Michael's words on him. And he said, no, it's only a 3v1 against me and I'll still win against you all.
Me and all the teachers are gonna 3D-fy yo asses and your friends too.
Okay, Michael, horrible teachers, and Rossetti. It's a fair competition of 3. It ain't a 3v5, it's a 3v1. If you bums really wanna try me.
The Elkins effect is a very dark diss track and has cursed Michael and his family forever. The fact that something with their last name being on it it's just sinister. Whenever people rap battle each other, they're always going after each other's reputation. And what the Elkins effect did, destroyed Michael's entire reputation. After this diss, everyone knew Michael was cooked. Even Michael himself knew. If anything, the diss got so deep to him that he didn't even have words to say after, which basically claimed Askemwat the victory. But oh boy, he surely wasn't done yet. After the beef ended, Askemwat wanted to make sure that Michael was under the ground 6 feet deep in this rap battle, so he released the final kill shot on Michael and the Robinson as well. On July 8th, 2024, Askemwat will release his biggest song yet, On Michael's Head.
Hey, go ahead, Infinite Instinct on a classic, he's full of regret. Have a record deal just to make a check. Shooting on him, grab a 9, reloaded on the clip. Seems like everybody wanna be on the Roberts, and that whole school can hate me. Forget them all and the teachers, nobody wants them anyways, that's why they got the lowest rate. Hey, it's time to get shut by the state. Isn't that why they give me the lowest grade? Every time I gotta keep Robinson kids on a reminder who the boss really is. I'm the one that made them inspired, running down this whole time, but this kid is expired. Right, Michael? I think you were the liar. Once this drops, you gonna be retired. Not exposed enough, okay, time to bring more fire. Fire, fire.
If you realize, the cover of Worldwide is actually the cover of Page After Page, but crossed out and is written with Worldwide. And Askemwat put Worldwide as the song title to mock Michael's album, which was Worldwide. At the end of the diss, Askemwat said his final words to Michael Elkins.
Everybody say Michael K. Say Michael K. Michael K. Are we enemies? Or are we best buddies? Then say Michael K. Michael K. Say Michael K. Say, take it from the top.
And when I tell you that this song right here had an impact, I mean it.
The voice, you can run but you can't hide. You can run but you can't.
That's the voice. Pathetic is the guy with a dusty voice. Pathetic is not but you can't hide. You can't hide but you can't hide. The guy with a dusty voice.
You can run but you can't.
It was pretty obvious. This song was everywhere. It was an even bigger hit than Page After Page, gaining over 200 views in the first 2 days. It was Askemwat's biggest song yet. 3 months later, on the 16th of October, Askemwat would drop the Worldwide music video, the video with over 600 views.
Hey, go ahead, Infinite Instinct on a classic, he's full of regret. Have a record deal just to make a check. Shooting on him, grab a 9, reloaded on the clip.
At this point, bro is just dancing on his grave. 1 month later, the Michael K song that Mars never got to release, finally released. But half a year later, this whole beef, looking back at it, it was fun to watch. Michael Elkins claims he has another album dropping soon. And who knows? He could diss another person. It could be me, or it could be you. But he will never forget the day that Askemwat completely destroyed him.